Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So we had few amazing sessions, and we have got another one that is coming across now. So with us is Ravi. He's director of PayPal Global Professional Services Partner Team, and he focuses on partner and merchant success across the different verticals. He comes with an experience of 20 plus years, which spans across different verticals and digital transformation technologies. Ravi is going to be speaking about smart payment buttons and pay later services that PayPal has. With this, I hand it over to you, Ravi. All the best.
Thank you, Vikrant. Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. As Vikrant said, I'm Ravi Iyer and part of the Global Professional Services team of PayPal. In today's session, we're going to talk about an overview of PayPal and its commerce platform so that you understand where the payments fits in. So we'll also go through the smart payment buttons, its features and benefits. Last but not the least, we're also going to talk about a tremendous opportunity, the buy now, pay later, and why it appeals to shoppers. So let me get started with an introduction about PayPal. So PayPal has the unique two-sided network connecting both 29 million merchants and 377 million consumers. We embarked on a journey several years ago to open the PayPal platform to work with other technology platforms, payment networks, banks and merchants that shared a similar vision to make payments simple, easy, reduce friction, and create those types of hassle-free experiences for both merchants as well as consumers. So PayPal's product offering is more than just a button. So as you can see, there are several icons here. These are some of the examples of the offerings and the tools that helps us to position as a valuable partner. And this spans across in-store as well as online. It also helps to acquire customers, maintain loyalty, domestic as well as cross-border commerce, invoicing for quicker B2B, and how do you drive conversions, including contextual commerce, cart abandonment, and offers and credit to drive more sales for your merchants. So before we get into the actual commerce platform, it's very important that we talk about why we are here. It's very exciting that we're part of this Magento ecosystem and also be present at this event, the Meet Magento. So PayPal and Magento Commerce together deliver a global presence that enables e-commerce leaders and purchasers all over the world. With this technological expertise, we are enabling the transformational experiences to win both e-commerce and its challenges. Both Magento and PayPal are community-oriented to cultivate open and strong communities with both their developers and merchants. So Magento, as you all know, offers a robust, flexible platform that is complemented by PayPal's seamless payments that increases sales as well as conversions. So without further ado, let me start off with the commerce platform. Now, what is this modern comprehensive commerce platform that we call it? This platform delivers a complete payment solution that is of a global scale. And it also gives you the flexibility for your business needs. And let us talk through a few of these pillars as in the slide. So to talk about accept payments, it gives your customers access to a variety of payment options nearly anywhere in the world. And it also helps you to receive funds quickly with a variety of global currencies and a suite of PayPal payment methods, which we will talk about it in a second. So you can also make payments using flexible payouts. You can pay your customers the way they want to be paid. Let it be withdrawal from PayPal account, bank payouts, you want to split the payments, or even multi-seller payments. So by partnering with PayPal, you tap into our 20 years of our experience managing risk for global businesses. You want to reduce the complexity with our simplified compliance process and global fraud detection capabilities. Chargebacks and fraudulent transaction cost time and money. With the advanced machine learning tools, you get customizable end-to-end fraud protection. for both you and your customers. Now you can access our 377 million buyers, as well as our 29 million sellers around the world. This gives you the global reach, as well as the local expertise to allow you to enter new markets, as well as acquire new customers. So coming to streamlining operations, it's very important that you accelerate your customer onboarding while delivering seamless experiences. And you also want to get your customers up and running painlessly. So, and that is through our intuitive onboarding process. It also, we have our very robust customer service support that's spread across 10 operations centers across the globe. We support over 20 languages with the support of 10,000 plus agents. And while we talked about the commerce platform, while we're here, the most important part is what are these smart payment buttons and how does that tie into enabling commerce for your merchants and partners? So the screen that shows, you see different payment methods. For example, card payment methods, PayPal wallet with local payment methods. It also gives you vaulting. At the end, when you put it all together, you see the end result, which is a very simple, complete payment solution as a paywall, and which is very smart. And I'll come to it in a second as why we call it smart. But what you can accept with this is debit and credit cards. But it also gives you some proprietary payment methods like PayPal Credit or PayPal Pay Later. We're going to talk about that also in a second. But most importantly, you could be coming from anywhere in the world, and we will provide you the local payment methods in over 100 plus currencies and from 200 plus markets around the world. So coming to vaulting, which is a trending topic today, is how do you drive faster payments for repeat customers? You don't want to put them through the same friction as they visited the first time. So vaulting gives you that flexibility. You can also offer subscriptions or recurring billing. Example, you want to do automatic top-ups for your customers, or you want to charge based on the usage, but not have them come to your site and authorize or go through the whole payment steps time and again. So you want to keep it as seamless as possible. So we'll go into the next slide, and this is where it comes to how it helps your strategy on delivering a global customer. So with the simple, we use proprietary algorithms to present relevant payment methods to your customers. And what this algorithm does is it detects the customer smartly from which country, what browser, what language, and it does a speedy presentment. Now, businesses can accept more payments from global customers with this smart detection. And with the support of local alternative payment methods, you're keeping it as local and giving you the payment options your customers want from whichever country they're trying to transact from. So there are a few examples that is shown on the screen. For example, Italy customers would end up seeing not only PayPal and debit and credit card, they also would see My Bank, which would be a local payment method for Italians. Germany would see SEPA and GiroPay. Austria would see SEPA and EPS. So similarly, every other country would have its own relevance to make sure you drive the maximum sales and also improve conversions for your customers. Now, the question would be is, how do you set up this smart payment button and how difficult is it? And there are so many payment methods. Is it all going to be very difficult? As I talked about in a couple of other slides, it is one integration, which is simple. We give it in an SDK form, and it also uses JavaScript. And you have simple customization as shown on the left here. So we can change the layout, the color, the shape, the label, the tagline. And you can also choose what kind of payment methods you want to enable or disable for your merchants or partners. And the result of that would be some of the examples listed on the right, not limited to that. Now, while the options here are plenty and we have limited time, I would encourage all of you to go to demo.paypal.com and explore all the different products and experiences there. You can also look up our site developer.paypal.com to see the guidance on integrations. if you're interested to see how the implementation is. You get code samples in multiple languages that can get you started pretty easily. So that was all about the smart payment buttons and key features. Now, we're going to the next topic, and this is a different level of gear. So we're talking about a consumer financing product, which has seen massive growth recently, especially in this challenging financial times. So before we go through what this is, I would like to show a video, a 1-minute video to get you started on what this is exactly. And I hope the streaming speed works out well for all of you so that the video plays well. All right. So that was a quick video to get you started. But definitely we're going to talk more about it. Not going to stop there. So why pay later? Let us ask that question and go through some of these recent times. With the COVID-19 impact, we've seen an evolving consumer behavior. And from free spending, people have gone to budgeting. From buying non-essential goods, luxury goods, people have gone to essential goods like groceries. It's no surprise that 38% of consumers are delaying the large purchases. And there are reports and the sources stated at this slide, but not to go through each one of them, but just for information, you'll see that the pay later adoption, we see 30% of users would not have made their purchase if they didn't have those right financing options. And 60% of our millennials agree that pay over time gives them the confidence they can afford the purchase with. So it is very clear on the benefits to the consumers. So they can manage their money better and still get what they need. So coming to how does this work from a user experience standpoint, I again have a short demo on how this works, and I'll walk you all through this experience. So a user is trying to buy this chair and clicks on pay later, and they're presented with their PayPal login page, type in the password, login. Now they have the choice to either pay now or do it pay later. And they choose pay in 4. And for interest-free payments, they're clearly stated on how the $120 gets split up. And it's also said interest-free. So they've already registered in their previous purchase. So those details are reflected here. Choose the card they want to charge this purchase with, agree, and continue. And that's it. And you're done with the purchase, you're redirected back to the merchant site, and your order is through. So it's clearly shown that, a user who may jump into the payments and who may drop off is clearly motivated at this point that they don't have to pay any additional fee, but it's 4 interest-free payments, and they can do better budgeting, and they also get to buy it. So, and that's one of the reasons why this is one of the trending and one of the most accepted kind of growing payments in the recent times. So we talked about the value proposition, but it's also important to talk about it's just not the consumers who are benefiting from just this pay later option. It's the entire ecosystem. Now, when we look at a merchant, now merchants with pay over time messaging at the right places, at the product listing, at the checkout page, at the home page, the consumers see these messages and they know that they don't have to pay everything upfront. And this has driven a 56% increase in the overall PayPal's average order values. Now, if you all know that there are 61% of small businesses who really struggle with cash flow, and cash flow during these financial challenging times is one of the most complex things to solve. And this getting paid upfront while the consumers pay later definitely boosts the business, and the small businesses get the money they want right away. And this benefits the merchants because, as we talked about driving conversion rates and revenues, consumers want to come back to the site because you're more loyal, because the pay later option is there. They get flexible options. And finally, it decreases the cost of consumer retention acquisition. Now, when consumers are benefited and merchants are benefited, it automatically translates to benefiting the whole ecosystem, or the platform vendor, as we call it. So it definitely increases the monetization. More merchants are attracted. The e-commerce growth is there. So finally, reducing the complexity of the integration as well, because this is automatically shown up for every integration without any extra efforts. So finally, while we went through a lot of topics, definitely want to summarize and make sure we do a recap. So we talked about our commerce platform, which gives you an end-to-end payment solution, no matter you want to support a small merchant or a large retailer, or even a platform or a marketplaces. And it's one integration for all these purposes, and it gets you the choice that you want and the choice that the consumers want, and it automatically gets upgraded without any extra efforts. Now, the pay later option, which is only available in US now, and for US merchants and US consumers, and which you can support your customers and clients coming out of that region, is a clear winner from a consumer standpoint. And it helps to drive both merchants, your customers who are basically either plugins or partners or an ecosystem or even platforms who are servicing these kind of customers. So with that, I think I've covered most of the topics. I'll call it the end of my presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ravi. I think it's a great offering that PayPal has brought across, and especially at the time of COVID, it does make sense having such thing being offered both to customers and the merchants, especially small merchants. So I am really excited about it, and maybe I'll connect with you offline to know more about it.
Sure, Vikrant, happy to.
Yeah, and we do have a question which is more about does it work with PWA? So maybe is it something that is more from the implementation standpoint?
So can they elaborate what is PWA? It could be specific.
Progressive web app. I think it would work because you may already have some kind of an APIs exposed for this, which can be consumed by different front-end technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think progressive web app, it would apply because at the end of the day, this is an in-context flow, and it is a JavaScript based. It's all about your implementation of how do you digest that into your flow. So this does not limit, as long as you support JavaScript and web code, this does not stop.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great. I think that is the only question that we had on the question and answer pod. So thank you again, Ravi, for your time and sharing this wonderful new offer that PayPal has come across with. All the best to PayPal and you for growing it and helping small merchants across.
Thank you, Vikrant. Happy to be here.
Sure.
Thanks,
Thanks a
everyone.
lot.